Okay.
This large exhibit in the museum is of the Civil War and the part that the people and the men from Cedarville took in that war. It was the most difficult exhibit to make. It took the longest to make. When you consider the amount of research that had to be done and the writing, the gathering of photographs, the layout of the various boards, the artwork, it probably took upwards of 6 months to totally complete it and get it hung. The board you see on the left with the green background, that's the early part of the war. The middle board there shows where the various troops fought. And the middle board, the red one, that gives more detail on some of the soldiers from the war, soldiers from the Cedarville area. There were probably a couple of thousand, and that was a very, very high percentage of the total population. You have to remember the population of Stevenson County was probably something like maybe around 25,000 people at that time, and I suspect that 10% of that were soldiers that fought in the Civil War. The board on the far right, the blue one, that shows the end of the war, and the white board to the far right is a listing and illustration of some of the books on the Civil War, some pertaining particularly to Cedarville and some generally to Cedarville, that we have in our library. And then we have these two glass cases. This particular glass case has photographs and little vignettes of about a dozen men from Cedarville who fought in the war, where they came from, what their age was, what units they were in, and when they died. It's interesting that the majority of or the largest part of the men who served from the Cedarville area were in the 46th Illinois Infantry Division, and which had 10 companies. And out of those 10 companies, Company A was almost 100% from Cedarville, and it would have been a little more than 100, 125 men. The glass case here it contains artifacts that are on loan to us from one of our members, Don and Vicki Friends, and he is a collector of artifacts from the war, and we're very happy to have them. He also is a very good lecturer, and if you want to have a good talk on the war, he's the one to talk to.